how does speech therapy work for these, the evolvement of teens?
I would say that both intervention at early stages and intervention for teens are equally imperative in this situation. We focus on basic questions: why, what, who, and now this goes on to, asking questions, making statements, understanding a variety of literary questions, inferential questions, from using very simple sentences or focusing only on expanding their mean length of utterance. We go on to using a different variety of sentences, basic turn taking to complex social skills.
Speech therapy is for getting words and the sentences from the child. So from building vocabulary to moving to your sentences, I thought speech therapy will get over.
Yeah.
But then I realized it's a life journey because from words to sentences, it was a very, very, very long journey. I think that was an initial building block. It took almost, in my case, 7 to 8 years, where it took for me to make my son from non-verbal to single words to sentences.
Yeah.
So we built the vocabulary.
So, welcome both of you. Lovely and sweet guests that I have today with us, and a very warm welcome to the Dolly Show today.
Thank you.
So, yes, we have a professional who is Smita ma'am with us. She is a speech and language therapist. And we have our very sweet little parent with us who will share a lot of experiences and some new aspects that we are going to discuss today. So, before we go ahead with our questions, I would love to know both of your journeys. So, yes, Smita ma'am.
Well, I'm a speech language pathologist. I've been in this field since 2005.
Wow.
This is a profession probably I was meant to be in because I was actually assigned a seat in physiotherapy, and finally, yes, which was at Sancheti, Pune, and then finally I took up speech pathology at TNMC Nair Hospital, Mumbai. And then I pursued my master's in communication disorders from Sydney, Australia. And then I was in the United States of America, where I worked there for a year. I have been associated with a very prestigious school in South Bombay for special children, and I've been working there since past 10 years. My area of interest is also to evaluate, to assess, to develop individualized education plan for children across various neurodiversities and work in tandem with parents. My final goal is to ensure that we have a complete social, emotional development of these children, and we can make a significant change in the quality of their life. So that's something that I am looking at. I also have my own private practice, and I'm attached to various other centers. For more information regarding me, you can go on to my website, which is communicure.com.
Very impressive. And yes, all of your missions and what you have done, we will definitely discuss in our further podcast. Over to you, ma'am.
Dolly, thank you for the opportunity first. I'm Uma Annan, born and brought up in Chennai and settled in Mumbai. I'm a chartered accountant by profession and currently part of a leadership team of a leading private sector bank in Mumbai.
Wow.
And this journey, I would like to introduce how my journey started with my son. So I was chief manager then. I was in Mumbai. I was blessed with my second child, a beautiful baby boy. So with a daughter first and son, we were a perfect family and a very happy family. You know, the happy moments always comes with lot of responsibilities to handle children here in Mumbai without immediate family support.
Yeah.
It was so beautiful, our life. And when it was 9 months, when my son was 9 months old, 9, 10 months old, that is when I started feeling that something is not okay with my son. While family at home said that the milestones of a baby boy are always little longer than the female child, so he will be all right. But somehow I could not buy that. Main reason is it's my intuition, and the mother-child bonding was missing. There was no eye contact because this is my second child. I have certain expectations, obviously, and that was not meeting. So that disturbed me a lot. I started doing countless doctor visits, and finally, all his senses we got tested, and it was in order. But my disturbance continued, and that is when we finally identified that he's in the spectrum. So that's how my journey started with my son, and initial few things that I did was to completely equip myself. If I have to deal with my child, I should know what it is. So I started reading about the autism, what we are expected to do. After reading, what remained was only confusion. I could not really understand what I have to do. I was only crying, and nothing. I felt I'm stuck, and I have no way forward. And that was the time I said, no, I have to take the responsibility and start working. So then I enrolled myself for a parent training program, More Than Words, which is speech therapist. This is the Hannon's program for the children with social communication impairment. That program was an eye-opener for me. It really made me understand what are the next few steps I'm supposed to do. It gave me clarity that my son is not a mentally retarded child. He is a specially abled child.
Correct.
That really gave me confidence. Yes, I can work on the child. It's just that I have to put an effort additional than what we do for the regular child. That's how my journey started.
Wow. Another inspiring story that we have with us today. Excellent. So, today that you both are here with the expertise of teenagers, like children go through their childhood, there's another set of learning that they have. Once they shift from that particular childhood, so the social setup changes. So, of course, there has to be another set of learning. So, how does speech therapy work for these, the evolvement of teens?
So let me tell you that a lot of focus has been on early intervention for children. I would say that both intervention at early stages and intervention for teens are equally imperative in this situation. The set of therapy goals differs for early intervention as compared to the middle school children. How we evolve is initially the goals are based on acquiring very basic words, functional words. Then the goals move on to using complex words, complex vocabulary. We focus on basic questions: why, what, who, and now this goes on to asking questions, making statements, understanding a variety of literal questions, inferential questions, from using very simple sentences or focusing only on expanding their mean length of utterance. We go on to using a different variety of sentences, basic turn taking to complex social skills. So there is a very wide array and different set of goals that we work during early intervention and for teens to prepare them to face the environment and
Correct.
situation outside. But speech therapy or speech pathology or any kind of intervention is imperative at both stages.
So, as a parent, ma'am, you do speech therapy for your child when they are at a younger age. So, is it that you stop and then again you need it, or you continue? How is the situation like?
initially my understanding was speech therapy is for getting words and the sentences from the child.
True.
But when I was into this journey, I started doing, see, initially my son was a non-verbal child. My clear focus was to get the basic vocabulary. I have to build vocabulary in his mind. That was my focus. So from building vocabulary to moving to a sentences, I thought speech therapy
That's
will get
it.
over.
Yeah.
But then I realized it's a life journey, because from words to sentences, it was a very, very, very long journey. I think that was an initial building block. It took almost, in my case, 7 to 8 years, where it took for me to make my son from non-verbal to single words to sentences.
Yeah.
So we built the vocabulary. I made lots and lots of visual. Almost everything in our home, I used to label. Like focus on getting words is the key. Okay, I used to label, this is table, this is washroom, this is cot, this is TV. So then coupled with images. So when he started getting single words, then we focused. I modeled him to get a sentences. When he say car, immediately I used to say, wow, it's a big, nice big red car. We have to model a lot. Post that, you can expect the sentences coming. Sentence is the last leg, I
The
said. Ultimate
Yes.
goal. So originally my thinking was, when we get that goal, speech therapy is done.
Yes.
Now, if you will ask me, it's a journey. We both are already speaking what next for him, and it's a plan. It's a combined. It's a journey for life, I think, till he becomes completely independent.
Ma'am, your journey has been like your communication journey from visual to an expressive language. How have you done that? Please explain that.
So I'll take it little step by step.
Yes.
So first, I focused on getting words, as I said, build vocabulary. That is noun and verb, action words. Come, sit, go, papa, mama. So noun and verbs I focused. That is very important. Okay. From there, every single item at home is labeled, and first focus is on routine based language. Wake up, have milk, brush teeth, and take bath. So everything maximum in 2 words. That's how I learned, and that's how I focused. So from there to the sentence was a lot of board game was required, a lot of techniques we have to use, strategies we have to use, we have to model for them, we have to talk for the child. Then the sentences slowly came. So from single words to sentence, lot of communication board I used. So when we have to work on a board game, I prepared a communication board which will help him to choose 3 words to make a sentence.
Okay.
My turn. This is Amma turn. So the communication board really helped me to move him from the words to sentences, and then turn taking and questioning, conversing, understanding. All these through lot of games and plays we could achieve that. So that's how my journey was. I took one step at a time, and it was very slow progress. But patience is an art I practiced. So once upon a time, I felt patience is a trait. Either you have it or you don't have it. Later in this journey, I realized it is a practice.
And you can achieve it for sure.
And we can achieve it. That really helps. You have to be patient till your child. First, you have to accept your child the way it is.
True.
Stop comparing your child with the other children, and things happen. That's how it happened. Be positive.
Fabulous. Good to know. So now let's move on to narrative skills. So how does that work for, and why is it so crucial for the teens on the neurodiverse spectrum?
Let me tell you that narrative skills is a complex ability which involves a lot of language, vocabulary, comprehension, and it's the ability to retell any story, any event. Um, and if you realize that we use a lot of it in our daily life, like anywhere you go, you're chatting with a friend, you ask, how's, how was the movie? What did you do over the weekend? How was your holiday? So, all these basic questions that we take in our day to day life involves narrative skills. Narrative skills in the narrative intervention in our children is very imperative because it indirectly helps in developing their attention. It also helps in developing their social skills, their academic skills, their literacy skills. Because once you're able to narrate something really well, you can write your thoughts on the paper nicely as well. Uh, it involves a certain like identifying the main idea, sequencing of events, identifying a plot, and then solving a problem. So it's also a thing that kids who are able to narrate well are somewhere able to make more peer relationships because they have a lot of matter to share. So that's why narrative intervention plays a very significant role as far as middle school and high school children are concerned. Um, we use a lot of techniques where we maybe discuss a current event, a current affair which is going on, or we discuss a movie that they have seen, or we discuss about any personal experience that they have had in the past. And we provide them a format by which they can narrate. So we do this through a lot of visuals, a lot of graphic organizers. Sometimes we use story starters. So it is a combination of everything that we use to develop their narrative skills. And yes, a lot of therapy for the middle school and the high school children focuses on developing their narrative skills.
Nice. Ma'am, I would love to know your views about narrative skills.
See, narrative skills, if you ask me, to one of the most complex thing, I had to break this into various steps. First, to narrate something, first there should be an understanding of it.
True.
And then you should be able to tell it sequentially. And that involves a recollection. So this was not an easy task. So I had to break this into various tasks. So by then my son was almost used to a lot of board games with me. So I used the dice to start with the giving him the narrating idea first. So in the dice we used to write why, what, when, where, like that. So we used to play a board game. When I roll the die, it will be what. So that day we will use a cup, say for example. What? What is this? This is a cup. So then next, if he rolls a die, he will say, why? Why you need a cup? Coffee. Even if I get a word coffee from him, I'm so happy because it is more relevant to that question that is asked. So there is an understanding. So the narration will come. That is the idea. So describing dice, really we worked a lot. It helped. So from describing dice, we then moved to imagination wheel. This is something we invented on our own to say that that really pulled a lot of his understanding about a particular item and connections. Connections is very important. Then only you can narrate. So when you say park, swing, people, dog, so you start telling 10. Slowly I realized he is telling another 10. Then again we focus on the same thing. We again go to the park. Then 10 things we said. What are the few things additional? Then come back next day again park. You will really find him narrating 2 more things. So from that we definitely moved on further to 5 senses, because what you see, what you hear, what you feel is very important. So 5 senses start really helped. And from there I will definitely take her example. She gave me a script. Basically for him to narrate about anything, the scripted questions. So we kept on preparing him for that 3-4 questions about any particular item. Then we moved to talk about the full day happening. That again we scripted for him. What happened, how the day was looking like, what you liked most, what you did not like, what you enjoyed. What did you do? Where did you go? So like this, depending upon his day, we prepared the chart. In the night we always used to recall, because for narrating you should be able to recall,
Yes.
which is very very important. If your child cannot recall, then narration is, you're not there.
possible. Yeah.
So
Correct.
so any skill you have to break down into 3-4 skills, work on small steps, then you achieve the main thing. So that's always been the
So-
goal between us.
So we gave we did a joint venture where we gave him a script where probably he had to tell us what's the beginning, what's the middle, what's the end, and how does he feel about it. So similarly, when he would come to me, I would ask him, okay, how was your weekend, and tell me in a sequence what you've done. And she would carry over the same thing as to probably ask him what he did on his visit to a park, or what he did the entire day in the school. So generalizing it and consistently doing it in the same pattern made him develop his narrative skills, and also he could relate his real life experiences and put it into expression.
So the real happiness we both had when we could send him to the school picnic alone.
Wow.
And we already prepared the teachers, like certain things you ask. See, initiating conversation is the most difficult thing. But when a question is asked, our answer is going to come. So at least let us get that from him. So we already scripted what can be asked to him in the picnic. To the teachers we planned that. Then when he comes, certain pictures we asked the teacher to click. So we
Yes.
kept the pictures and he made the story of the picnic. So now everywhere we go, the story book he always makes.
Such a beautiful practice that y'all have put into play. Wow. Awesome. This is a really innovative, I can say, way of teaching the child.
When you say innovative, I can really tell something which we did. When we go somewhere, waiting is one of the very difficult skill. Waiting, when to stop, otherwise he'll run. So for that we made innovative and use a signal, because in the traffic signal that was very appealing to him. Red, green, amber. So then with that I started teaching red for stop, amber for wait, green for go. So this really worked wonders. We made 3 cards for him. Wherever we go first, if I give the wait card, he will wait there till I come. Till Amma comes, wait card. Wait card is there in his hand, he will wait. Go card is there, he will run. Stop card is there, he will stop. So then generalization started.
Yes, and we also realized that for them the classic feature is everything needs to be structured. So initially we started with structuring or scripting, providing a format for everything, and then generalizing it. Over time we realized that he was able to add more and more information to that. He was also showing some amount of flexibility that if he popped up some question which was not a part, he was able to respond to that, and he also came up with some innovative questions to ask. And then his willingness to communicate increased a lot, because he knew that he had the language to communicate or
Conversate.
conversate with others.
See, basically we always say that from this kind of children we have to keep the phone away. But we both did a wonderful thing, because for me, one goal that I wanted to achieve is he should be able to converse in a mobile. Because when he goes out, if I have to send him independently, to know about him, he should be able to answer on the phone. Otherwise, the phone, automatically it's going for only playing. That's not the goal. Phone has to be used for communication. So that transition was a big journey for us. So we did scripted questions. So today, see, he comes by car from school to home, 45 minutes to 1 hour journey. So I trained my driver. The moment you sit in the car, after 5-10 minutes, make a call to my sister. So I given Monday sister, Tuesday sister's husband, Wednesday another sister is there, Friday then mother, then Thursday teacher. Like that we had. and we had different kind of scripted questions for different relatives each. So, and we already told them that today you are going to get a call from. These are the 5 things he is prepared for. So you have to align with it and ask that questions and see if he is able to answer. So initially it used to be robotic conversation. Hi Akka, how are you? I'm doing fine. Bye. He will not even wait for the other person to respond. His goal is to talk these 4 things. He will talk and he will keep. He will not even listen that there is a person on the other side speaking that he has to respond. That concept came very late. And slowly now we both are amazed what kind of questions he is asking the other person.
Wow.
We moved him from receptive to asking questions, and now general. We don't have to prepare the other person. But to greater extent, it will be scripted and we can understand what questions he will ask. But a normal conversation can happen. So it was a journey almost for 2-3 years.
Wow. But with these, y'all kept developing the narrative skill.
Yeah.
And that's why y'all have now
Yes.
landed in this particular happy situation, I would say. Which is beautiful. I mean, y'all have been truly very innovative. And I think it's a collaboration of both of you is what has
Yes.
created the magic.
I think the teamwork or the synergy between a parent and a therapist is extremely
Collaboration,
Yes.
fighting, difference of opinion, everything. Basically, we have been consistently working together in
Yes.
setting the goal for him. And of course, most of the credit goes to her in giving me strategies, because I kept on telling my problem. This is the problem.
Yes.
Here he is not responding.
But she was very observant as to what are the issues outside the therapy setup, and her feedbacks were very constructive, which helped me visualize that how I will plan a goal for him. So that's very important. As a parent, she has been very proactive, very observant. She exactly knows where is the need for him to communicate, and that's how we set up a strategy that how we can develop a communication skill in that particular situation.
Fantastic.
That's when we realized it's a journey. The initial question of yours.
Yes.
It's not one time or
Yeah.
for a particular time. It's a journey.
It's a journey. Okay, so ma'am, you mentioned about board games and fun play. So I think this plays a very major role. So can you please elaborate on that, ma'am?
I think board games are a very important part of therapy. They're an amazing way of learning for children because it takes the stress out of the child to perform in the first place. It can be played individually. It can also be played in a group. It encourages teamwork. Helps you to follow directions, and we can use all different kinds of board games to focus on every different area that we want to achieve or help them learn. So there are lots of board games in the Indian market, and
True.
they are great, which we can use for our children. So we frequently use, depending on the goal, like if you have to focus on turn taking, we use a simple game like Connect 4, which involves you to put coins, the red and yellow. If we want to develop inferencing, we play a game like Treasure Hunt, or there's a game called Junior Alias, which is helps in guessing.
Okay.
A game like Emotional Charades, where you make facial expressions and then the child has to guess what
Where
they know.
Where you want to identify boy, girl.
Oh.
That we used a game. Guess who I am.
Guess who?
Yes.
Yeah,
Guess
I've also
who-
played.
Yes. So that helps the child ask questions. Is he having red hair? Is he bald? Is he having specs? So asking questions. Guess who is a great game to begin with, asking questions. Yes, no, answering yes, no. And then boiling down to a particular person. So how you infer, how you kind of boil down to the person who you're supposed to guess. So inferencing, asking questions, all turn taking, all these things can be developed by using a simple game called Guess Who.
Wow.
Yes.
See, from my side, if you ask me, every single goal we have used a game.
Yes.
One thing is to get a child to work with you. That moment you get is very, very less, because the purpose there for the child is to grab the chocolate that is kept at the end. So there is a schedule prepared first, your turn, job done, and then chocolate. So if this is the 4 steps to be covered, so what is critical over there is that chocolate. So board game makes it much more easier to teaching moments. So as she rightly said, Guess Who was used by me to basically give him the difference between a boy and a girl. Boy, but sometimes it's confusing. Can a boy have long hair,
Yes.
short hair? Generalizing gets difficult. But mustache is there for a boy, not for a girl. So questions asking. So many skills are developed using games. So today we have for every single goal
Yes.
there is a game, and you can use that, and obviously it works wonders.
Wow.
Yeah, so there are lots of games which you can use. Great concepts can be developed. You can develop a lot of vocabulary by using these games. Children learn new words, how to use them in sentences. Again, teamwork. What will happen if you land on a particular space? What are you going to do next now? Whose turn is next now? So a lot of group work or team work can also be done by using games. So I think yes, board games are a very important part of.
Wow, this is an eye opener for me. I had no idea those games that we are playing, the board games, are so therapeutic and can teach you so much. Oh my god, I've gone back to my memory lane.
The moment you say therapeutic, one information which I want to give anyone who work with the children, which I learned, is we have to convert their entire day living into therapeutic in nature. So these games are really therapeutic, and if you have a schedule, even 2 games you play, you should be very clear what is the 2 goal that you want to achieve today and focus on that. One game can be used for bringing out multiple goal
Yes.
achievement, but instead of confusing, take it one at a time, then you can go back to the same game for another goal.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Oof. Let's move on to our next question. So, what exactly do you mean by higher order skills and how do you cater to them?
Higher order skills are also sometimes termed as meta-linguistic skills. It involves the use of advanced language competence for higher school and middle school children. It involves a lot of skills. I can name few of them, like understanding idioms, understanding of implied meaning, using more of complex vocabulary words, um,
Jokes?
understanding jokes, even sarcasm. So these are some of the higher order language skills that we intend to work on with these children, because very often, like a simple idiom, like when you say it's raining cats and dogs, they take the meaning that the cats and dogs.
A literal meaning, yeah.
But it's a very common idiom that we often use. Another idiom that we use is I have butterflies in my stomach. So when you ask them what it means, they'll say, oh, there are actually butterflies in the stomach. But this is a very basic language idiom that
Use.
others often tend to use, or teens also use. Like when you go to work, they may say, okay, let's call it a day, or the teacher may say, let's call it a day, we can do this next time.
True.
So yes, so these are some of the goals that we focus on, and it really, when you structure it to a closed set and then go on to an open set, it really helps them develop an understanding, and now they understand the meaning of it over a period of time. Also, like a word like on, if you say switch on the fan, and then she went on and on and on, and put on our thinking caps.
Yeah.
So the word means very different in different contexts. So this is something also that we need to focus on.
And now we have like a new set of new words and new phrases from the Gen Alpha, the Gen Zs. I think even
Slang
we
word.
need to get accustomed to that particular thing.
Yes.
So I think you might be adding that in your syllabus.
yes, the slang words.
Yeah.
Because I have no clue how I will reach there.
Likewise,
Yes.
even I have no
I have
idea.
no clue how I'm going to reach there.
That
Same
is also
here.
something that we need to start thinking
Exactly.
about and work on, because that's going to be very frequently used.
Yeah.
FOMO and talk to you later.
Yeah. My trauma response.
Text.
Oh my god, what kind of
Move
words?
from talking to text.
Yeah, talking to text, yeah.
So yes, how they communicate using
Hmm.
a gadget is also like using digital language, probably, or
Yeah.
language for a digital
Setup, yeah.
is something that we need to work on in the future, or start thinking that yes, how we are going to go about working on it.
On it.
Yeah, like she said, it's a constant journey, even for the therapist, even for the parent, and for the child, where at every phase or at every stage you face different challenges. And I think this is very important, that the parent should continue to address the challenges at the right time and seek help for that.
Correct. Ma'am, I would love to know your views about.
For me, high order language, I think I would like you both to take a step back, because in my understanding, high order language is still behind, because we have to reach there. First, we should be able to understand the social atmosphere in which the child is,
Yes.
and should be able to do back and forth conversation, meaningful conversation, understanding the setup, and should be able to ask for help, should be able to explain what happened in a good day or a bad day. Uh, Again, storytelling, narrative skills. So these I would phrase it as high order, because initially we focused on words, sentences. Obviously now the focus shift to these kind of things which will prepare him for college or an independent setup. So these are some of the things we are working, and we have long way to go.
Social skill is a very wide umbrella. It involves lots of skills, and depending on the support need of the child, I think, and the individual lifestyle and environment, the goal needs to be tailored for the child. So the goal that might work for him might not work for another child.
I think ma'am has just redefined the definition. Meet the child where the child is. And not just go by terms.
Correct.
So perfect. Awesome.
Otherwise, it puts us into a lot of anxiety, and we pass it on easily to our children, because we all, we do something, we immediately want results, and that pressure we put on the child. So we have to self-educate ourselves in many qualities to be able to handle our child.
Yes, I always tell her we'll cross the bridge when it comes. Like, let's work on the level that we are at right now, and then we will see how it goes down the line.
One step at a time.
We should plan 10 steps, work on one step at a time.
Yes.
That's how I would put it.
Perfect. So ma'am, how has the school played a part in the development of your child?
See, in my opinion, school plays a very pivotal role. Many things that you cannot do at a home setup, automatically the child learns in the school setup. So first and foremost, for me, it's my experience. I have put my son in an integrated school, which really helped. The school had a curriculum completely suit my son's requirement.
Tailored.
So tailor-made. It is tailor-made. Then all the special requirements of my child was accommodated by the school. And school also helped in giving speech therapy, occupational therapy, and also most of the time behavior corrections. The concerns that we have along with the school, when we express, they are able to do counseling and they are able to do the corrections, and the feedback of the school, what is happening around, help us to work on then making him ready for school setup. So it's a key role school always plays. And also school helps in lot of parent awareness program. They also have a parent group where we can share what's happening with the other child, and from there we come to know a lot of resources, lot of help we get. So school definitely plays a vital role. And over a period I realized the best in him, the talent in him was identified by the school. So he is very perfect and a very disciplined child. The moment he completes a work, if the other children needs 5 minutes, he will complete in just 1 or 2 minutes. So how his free time is used by the school, he was made a school monitor, class monitor. So from there, they developed his skill for helping others. When he is done, the teacher trained him to help the other children. So this is a kind of a social development automatically happening for my child. So in a social setup, definitely I can bet he would go and offer help to anyone because it's already in him. So these are the things which at home you developing is not going to happen. So in bringing up my child, I definitely feel the professionals like speech therapy and occupational therapist and school all together we work on a common goal. The benefit that we achieved is maximum, and this is going to, what do you say, this is going to
Yes.
continue.
Yes, and at school, the school-based intervention that we look into also tries to align the child's goal to his academic skills, so that somewhere he's also assisted in developing his academic skills. And it's an entire team approach where, including the class teacher, uh, including the peers, including the therapist, everyone together is working as a
Yeah.
team, which leads to a very good social emotional development of the
Yeah.
child. So yes, that is something which is really, really beneficial for developing a personality of an individual child.
I definitely vouch that. And the parents should be careful about the choice of the school that they make. Is the school willing to accommodate the special requirement of the child? If that is a tick, then it's a big go for that school, is what I would say.
A life-saving tip that ma'am has given us right now. Speaking about life experiences, ma'am, I do know you have some amazing experiences. I would love you to give us at least a few.
Something which we spoke about, I would like to recall board games.
Yes.
So it's again, I never knew before this journey that board games can be such a wonderful tool in life, but now I use them so much. A board game which is for a purpose, we use for 10 other purpose in our own innovative way. So since we spoke about guess who I am, guess who I am can be extended to identify anything, an animal, and what to say, any role play. See, role play is very, very difficult for us. So role play transition can happen first if you work on knowing that character very well. So for that, again, we reuse the same board game. So bringing out sentences from him happens through that game. So this is one life example like that. Many games, I don't go and buy 10 new games. The existing games itself can be used in 10 different ways to bring out the best from our child. So it's just we have to think how we can apply for the goal that we need. Another main thing, mostly our childs are more robotic in nature. So to have a lot of bonding built in them, emotions. So it is something we have to take a lot of steps. So few steps I took is he should be able to have the emotional connect with every member in my family. That is very important. By virtue of me working with him day in and out, obviously the connect once was missing. It happened for me. But the same thing has to happen with my husband. Same thing has to happen with my other relatives. So we have to work on it. Husband being the important thing.
Yeah.
So that I remember we both together thought about a theme called Sunday sunlight walk. Okay.
Wow.
See, because we all don't have vitamin D. so as
True.
all of us, and we keep our children inside our house.
Yeah.
So obviously our children is also not having vitamin D. At our young age, we would have gone out without knowing we had vitamin D. Now vitamin D should be a
Yeah.
conscious thing.
Conscious thing. that we have to
So we said that Sunday I'll get rest.
Mm.
My husband and my son will pair and they will go for work. My husband walks. He goes to the gym, so he enjoys all these things. So that I want my son and my husband to pair. So every Sunday morning 10 o'clock they go out, and till they come 1:30 I'm free. It's me time. So
Wow.
it worked in
Wow.
2 ways. Me time I got, and they go for a
Wonderful.
I kept a theme, sun walk. So they go out, walk. In the process, lot many things he learned from my husband of eating pani puri,
Oh.
bel puri.
Wow.
So nicely they enjoy their Sunday, go for a walk and keep eating something and come. And that has really helped me because I
Excellent.
got my time, and they both bonded so beautifully. Today they speak IPL together, they sit and watch IPL together. And to take it to the next level, we made a team of me, my husband, my son, my few friends. Then we did a cricket match. We went to a school ground. We played cricket. So the real life, he can, what he sees in the picture, what he's talking and what he's playing, all these things are same. That generalization is very, very important.
Yes.
So that we did, and we'll keep doing something of this. But this really helps, you
Yes,
know.
generalization is very, very important as far as achieving one's goals are concerned, because once the things are done in a therapy setup frequently, taking it outside to the home environment and to the other social situations, the parent plays a very important role as far as that is concerned. Giving lots and lots of examples, doing it multiple times, and giving the right prompts. These are some things which form the base of achieving any therapy goal, I think.
And of course, continuing with that, see, all the time we feel a sense of achievement when we are only talking with our child. But now we have to see when he or she goes to the social or the outside real life scenario setup, how they behave. Because being able to talk meaningfully, these are the challenges which we said that together we will work on. We can quote one example which we first
Yes.
worked.
Please.
Uh,
I'm waiting.
This is like, first we wanted him
Yes.
to go to, see, my
Yes.
next shop is a chemist shop. So we have chosen that so that we don't have to send him out more. So in the chemist shop, the goal is he has to go and purchase a dairy milk. So we scripted the question.
Yeah, I set the set of questions for him that okay, what will you go and ask for? He will ask question like how much is it for? Do you have change? Which chocolate does it want? And so like a set of questions related to that. Or in a chemist, if he wants some medicine, what will he ask? That okay, I want one strip. Do you have a strip? Is it a tablet or it's a syrup? Very simple
Yeah.
set of 5 questions which he would go and ask. First he would go and greet the uncle, and then he would come up with 2 or 3 questions, and then exactly she made him go through it, and kind of he went to
Before
the
he
chemist.
goes, we have to train the chemist and his free time. Tentatively, what time the shop will not be busy. So we planned it well before with the chemist. So I'm going to send my son. So this is how you have to deal with him. And these are the things that he'll be asking. So you ask certain things, you answer and observe how he is, where he struggles. Tell us so that we will work on it.
Yes.
So this we did with 2-3 shops, a proper planning. Regularly, it's a daily event. Daily he will go, there will be a goal to buy one item. So first we'll start with giving exactly that amount, and then little more money, little less money,
Understand.
and difference. Sometimes we trained the chemist to say that not available. So it is not there. Not there, bolke he'll come back home. So what is the alternate that
Yes.
can be choice making? That is also a very important thing. This is not there, what next? So that scenario. So a lot of scenarios we understood that can come in a real life, and we kept on working on it. So today he can go to a DMart,
Yes.
take the things that is required, list each item, what is the total cost, how much to be paid, and what is the balance to be taken.
So again, I would like to stress here that again, it is the need of the hour for that child, because the parents have observed and they want him to achieve certain sort of an independence, and this feedback has been given from her, and that's how we have constructively worked in this situation for the child.
Correct.
So a goal is again tailored
Yeah.
to the need of the child.
child. But fantastic work that you have done. I am highly, highly impressed. And I can call you the innovation queen.
We
A
all,
good-
we
a
all
good-
become like that. you know.
Yeah.
See, necessity makes the man perfect,
Yes.
innovative.
Correct, correct. Okay, let's come back to a bit of reality. So, what are the challenges that your son is currently facing as he's now growing, getting into the college setup, and moving further? So, what are the challenges that you're currently facing, and how is your therapist helping you with the same?
See, if you'll ask me, first and foremost, should be able to interact in a live setup, and he should be able to handle the peer relationship. That is very important. And real life scenario challenges, how he can face it, and back and forth conversation, understanding the circumstances and reacting according to it. And if you will ask me, to the more he will be exposed to the outside world, the more independence. So he has to deal with the emotions of the other people, difficulties and challenges that comes, how he will take it. If he need a help, will he ask for an help, or how he can use language or a communication for asking help. Next set of challenges that I feel is, as we were discussing a little earlier, whether he'll be able to understand the idioms, whether he'll be able to understand sarcasm, jokes, or hidden meanings. So these are some of the challenges that we should train him for an independent setup or a college setup.
We are currently working with some of these skills. Yes, not all can be focused on at a time, but some of these skills are something that we have started working with them already, and by smaller steps, he's already achieving it or trying to respond to it quite well. Like simple thing like asking for a clarification. So now we're working on teaching him that, okay, if you don't understand something, you have to say that, can you please repeat? I did not understand. Sorry, can you explain again? Can you come again? So things like this, as and when we progress in therapy, and as and when he is going to a higher standard, his requirements keep changing, and based on that we try and give him the language and the assistance to communicate. So that's where it is. Also, when you talk about real life experiences, just going back, like he goes for a cooking class, and that's what she mentioned to me once. So he had gone over the weekend for a cooking class. So when he came to me, I knew that he's made something. So then I asked him everything about it, and we had a long conversation about what recipe he made, and did he enjoy it, and what will happen if you add more spice to it and less to it, and what other thing you want to think of making, or is that your interest? So a lot of conversation rotated around his interest in cooking, and that. So we focused on a lot of things at that time, but this is an example. So I am also constantly learning from her as a parent. Her feedbacks are opening different avenues for me. I'm also able to think differently and work on things differently based on her feedback, and I think it works wonderful.
It's a joint
venture. A beautifully working joint venture.
Yes, I know.
Lovely information that you'll have given us. Believe me, parents will be able to take in a lot from y'all. So thank you, both of you. So to end this conversation today, which I'm not quite liking, but yeah. So I would love to know, have, for that matter, one message from your end, ma'am, and then from you as well.
A message that I would like to give out to parents is that every child is different, and at every different stage of their life, they're going to face different challenges. I request parents out there to understand what are their needs and go out and get the right help and continue to work on it. And yes, continue to trust your therapist. All this has been possible because of her trust in the kind of work that we do. She really believes in whatever information we share with her, and continue to use the right kind of resources which are all available out.
Yes, ma'am.
See, I basically accepted your invitation itself to share the journey. At least it can help some parent, some
So true.
younger parents, because that was the time really the help and the direction is needed. At least if my life can help few other, even one child, I'll be very happy. That is
So
why
true.
whatever I have gone through, finally today when I turn back, it is a very successful story. But we had to take that journey ahead. So if you ask me, my message to any parent who is watching here is, first accept your child as it is. Uh, definitely let go of the thinking that should, my child should be able to do this, my child should be able, that let go what is called the normal should. Each one of us are different, and so is our child. Take the child as it is, practice patience, and continue. Whatever you do consistently. Don't do one day and expect wonders. It is a continuous journey.
Yes.
Keep working, keep enjoying. I would say this, ever in my life I had known that the joy and the grief can coexist. And the moments you feel that you have achieved certain things, celebrate it, enjoy. And definitely there will be an inner grief that will be there, how we are going to face it. But it's all of us are believing that we are going to live longer, right? That itself is a belief. When
Correct.
that can work, this also can
Right.
work. So I would say that only, and continue the journey happily. And that's the only message. Keep working. Be observant of your child, what is happening, so that you can offer a right kind of help at the right time.
Yes, that's very
And-
important.
Lovely and very motivating, believe me. And what you said is so true, that you never know which parent is finding which answer. So maybe your journey might answer a parent who's looking for this answer since quite a long time. So you never know.
What matters is 25 years down the line and not where we start. When we look
Exactly.
back, we would have moved mountains by step by step.
So true. I can't thank y'all enough. And I so don't want to end this, but so thank you so much, both of you.
Thank you for
Thank you
having
for the
us.
opportunity.
Yes.
Thank you.